Hey folks, David Frost, LazyGapTrader.com. In this video, we're talking about day trading. More specifically, we're talking about gap trading. Gap trading is by far the single most consistent and profitable day trading strategy found across the markets today. What I do is teach a course, and within the course, I teach two specific gap trading strategies. One is known as the morning gap trades, and the second strategy is known as gap fill trades. What we're going to do today is take a look at some specific trades that were given out to my traders first thing in the morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes before the market even opened for trading. Before we do that, let's just get a little refresher on exactly what gap trading is. Gap trading is when stocks that are gapping higher or lower at the open will trade to certain mathematical numbers. As such, those stocks are A, drawn to those numbers, and B, will generally have a price reaction from those numbers. So a stock gapping higher at the open will trade to a specific price level and generally have a price reaction lower, meaning in the other direction. Those are the morning gap trades. The gap fill trades are when stocks are gapping higher or lower at the open, they leave an open gap. Open gaps on charts have a tendency to get filled at some point in the future. Both these strategies are taught in my course. I teach everything you need to know in order to trade the gap successfully. Which stocks it works the best with, what are the criteria we're looking for, how much of a gap open are we looking for, either higher or lower? Where exactly do we trade those gap fill trades? When don't we take a trade? That's very important. That's also taught in the course. When to stay away from a potential bad trade. Everything you need to know is taught in my course at LazyGapTrader.com. Let's go take a look at the email that went out to subscribers at 9 o'clock a.m., 30 minutes before the market even opened. Now, the first list you see are the morning gap trades. And as you can tell, we had 4 possible morning gap trades on the board today. We had HD Supply, HDS, Physicians Realty, or DOC, BMC Stock Holdings, BMCH, and YY. Now, unfortunately, none of these trades actually hit their level today. However, I do want to show you a couple came close, and I want to show you the power of these levels and the price reaction in the other direction. However, we did have, so far today, 2 gap fill trades that hit their levels, and we're going to take a look at those as well. First, let's focus on a couple of important levels. Home Depot Supply, focus on the level of $40.09. The stock was gapping lower, and I say support levels are $40.09, and then I give some secondary levels, and I give a stop and profit target, which is a minimum profit target. The second stock that came close was YY. Gap higher, resistance levels are 52.37, and then I gave a secondary level, and then you see the stop and profit, again a minimum profit target. The other stocks that did hit their levels today come from the gap fill trade list, and you can see I track all the stocks that gap higher or lower at the open each and every day on a master list. And then I put out a list of about 30 or so stocks each and every day that are approaching their gap fill levels for my traders. The 2 I want to focus on today are DATA, D-A-T-A, and you can see here the current price I give, that's as of yesterday's close because this goes out before the market opens. And then the gap fill level at 48.21, I label it as a long trade, meaning we're looking to buy the stock into that 48.21 support level. And then the last column is how far away from the gap fill level it is at the open. This way traders know which ones are approaching the important levels. The second stock that hit its gap fill level today was COP. And this one, the gap fill level was $44.47. Also a long trade, meaning the stock was coming into that level. We're looking to buy that level as support. And then the stock starting the day was just about 3% from that level. And again, that helps traders track how far or close they are to the levels so that they know when the trade is approaching. Let's go to the charts and take a look at some of the stocks from today. Now, YY was on the list, and the reason I want to show it to you is because sometimes even though stocks don't hit their levels, I get an opportunity to display to you the power of these price levels. This stock, right before the open, meaning a minute or two before the opening bell this morning, was at the level that was specified in the email that went out to subscribers. It was $52.37. After the open, unfortunately, the stock had a high of $51.84, but you can see what happened, the collapse that occurred in this stock. This is the price reaction in the other direction I spoke about, making a low of $45.74 just 30 minutes after the open. That's tremendous. Just goes to show you the power of these levels. Let's take a look at HDS. You'll remember the level on this stock given out in the email that went out before the open at $40.09. Unfortunately, this stock made a low of $40.11, just 2 cents away from the level. So I didn't trade it. I didn't get filled. Some traders may have, and I know some did. However, look what happened just a few minutes later. 20 minutes later, the stock was at a high of $41.23. That's a tremendous bounce off that level, showing you the power of these price levels. Stocks are drawn to them and have price reactions in the other direction. Let's take a look at a couple of the gap fill trades that did hit their levels today. Here is Data or Tableau Software, and you can see here in the first 10-minute candle of the day, the stock made a low of $48.17, just a few pennies below the specified gap fill level at $48.21. And as you can see, just 10 minutes later, the stock was already at a high of $48.71 for a nice, quick scalp trade bounce. That's a nice trade off that gap fill level. This is exactly what I teach in my course. I teach you everything you need to know in order to trade both the morning gaps and the gap fill trades. Let's take a look at one more stock. Here is COP or ConocoPhillips, and you can see the level at $44.47, and you can see the stock having a price reaction at that level, and the stock has continued to fight that level and trades higher away from that level. Another successful gap fill trade. Folks, come over to check out the course. Everything you need to know to trade the gap successfully is found in the course at lazygaptrader.com. I'm David Frost. Thanks for tuning in, folks.